ants really like honey. I've tried this before. I mean, I've given them honey before, but in the past I just like sort of chucked it in there, tried to put it on a leaf, or, you know, it would just sort of seep off into the dirt, or sometimes I just put it straight on the dirt, sometimes I put it on a toothpick. But this time I got the toothpick and just scraped it onto the glass, and it's, you know, slowly sliding down. And I think because it's on the glass and it's easier for them to get to it rather than sifting through a bunch of dirt, they're actually having a great time. There's also one more on this side that dropped down a fair bit, and you can see them all lining up. Oops, I can focus. Lining up to have a go. So that's kind of fun. And you know, just putting little dots of it all over the place. Still some having a go at the sugar, but yeah, a bunch going for the honey. It's also kind of cute, and I think putting it on the glass probably helps to keep it cleaner, as there's a bit of mold. Can you see that? A bit of mold in a ditch there, which I need to clean out, but it's been raining so much. It's kind of not worth it until I can actually get it out and get a bit of filtered sunlight on it, get some air. For the moment we're stuck indoors, because if I try and put them outside, the covered area, there's no table under there at the moment. I'd have to move that, and then even if I do that, there's not really any sun, so yeah. Also, I need to find some dry dirt to try and smother it, because that seems to work. But yeah, there's no dry dirt outside, so that's also a bit of a pain. But it doesn't seem to be spreading, it's staying within that... Oh, there's an ant investigating. But yeah, it's sort of staying within that ditch, so, you know, who really cares? Also, have they found this? I put some dots of... Oh, can you see it? Some dots of honey on here. There's a bit there. And then there's a bit underneath the little sugar thing. You can just see that dirt's a bit wet there. I was trying to decide where to put it, because I was going to put it in here first, and it just sort of dropped off the toothpick and down underneath that, so that was an accident. But then after that, I realised I could put it on the glass, and so I've changed my mind since then. Also, you can see the silver little bowl thing. That has sugar in it, but it keeps liquefying, and I'm not really sure why. I think, like, maybe because of the shape of this, you see how it's got this curve in. I wonder if it's keeping some of the atmosphere in there. What was that? Oh, it was on the glass. I was just watching that, getting distracted by that ant. But yeah, I don't know, it keeps getting moisture in there, and I don't know how. And I even changed the silver and basically made a brand new one, put fresh dry sugar in there, and it didn't last that long, it just liquefied. So that's interesting. But yeah, the honey's on the outside, just on that dirt there. I don't know, I set this one up a bit more like a proper terrarium, like with the other one. That one I kind of just like chucked in dirt and ants as I was catching them. There wasn't any real strategy to it. It's not really set up properly for terrarium style stuff. I should actually check and make sure there's enough water in there. But yeah, so it's not set up that right way, whereas this one I did pay attention to how a terrarium should be in more of a natural setup. So you can see there's like some drainage pebbles down the bottom. There's also a cotton ball down there, because, you know, I was still sort of making it up as I went along, but yeah, and then there's some sphagnum moss, and then there's like layers and layers before you get up to the dirt. And maybe that, you know, there's water down there, and maybe that... Oh, were you just getting some honey? All that? There are less workers here, so, you know, I'm not expecting a big buffet table going for honey. But yeah, so there's water down the bottom. Have to fill it every now and then. But maybe because I set it up better, and because perhaps the shape of this, you know, in a sort of precipitation style way, maybe that's why the sugar keeps liquefying. I don't know. Anyway, so I think putting honey against the glass is probably the way to go. It means it's not so easy to clean it, but I don't think the mold is really going to grow on the glass. I'll be sad if it does somehow. And of course the honey will keep slowly dropping and eventually hit the the dirt, so, you know, it might end up breeding mold down there anyway. But at least in terms of keeping the ants happy, I feel like this is better than just letting it go in the dirt in the first place. Do you know what I mean? Anyway, 5 minutes of random ant update that you probably didn't really want and which no one asked for. Yeah, oh, with the meat situation, these guys I haven't given any real bugs to eat. I just gave them like a toothpick with the dog food meat on it, and the toothpick always gets mold on it. And then I take it away, and then the mold is solved, so kind of annoying. I gotta figure out whether or not, I don't know, maybe I need to make another one of those little bowls. But seeing as we're getting this liquefaction problem with the sugar, I wonder what the effect would be on, you know, meaty stuff. But I guess there's only one way to find out, so maybe I'll consider it. Over here, you know, because that meaty thing never gets any mold on it, I can just leave it there. And occasionally they do go and eat it. Not as interested in it now that it's dried out, but they do occasionally go back. So yeah, maybe it would work in the other one, but, you know, this sugar stays for ages. I've only had to refill it once, I think. And that sugar just stays solid forever. I don't know. It's at the top of the jar, so, you know, if there is any kind of precipitation style thing going on, you know, the jar's open, it's sort of a more, you know, straight kind of up thing, and it's at the very top of the jar, so, you know, probably the moisture just goes out of the jar and doesn't fall back in. Random theories. I'm gonna get back to what I was doing. Writing up some stuff for Patreon. It's been a busy month. It feels like every month's busy though, especially at the start of the month. I don't know, I've got to manage my time better. Anyway, I'll try and do a proper video blog soonish. Just, yeah, I like it when they sort of surround a thing and nibble at it. It's kind of fun to watch. And I've got a whole bunch of spots. I think they were getting a little bit bored because I wasn't paying a whole lot of attention to them and giving them new stuff. And now they're like, hey, a new thing! Everyone gather around!